Hi guys, my name is Sarah Irvin, and this is the mini masterclass for high schoolers who play tenor saxophone. Today we will go over the concert B flat major scale, the concert B flat natural minor scale, and at the end I'm going to give you some tips. But first, before we get into that, I want to discuss the topic of transposition. If you already know this, you can skip ahead in the video for a couple minutes. If not, stick around. But also remember at any time, if I go a little bit too fast, you can pause the video and go back and rewatch. So I'm going to talk about transposition. So since we play tenor saxophone, everything we play is in the transposition of B flat. What this means is that when we play a concert B flat scale, we do not start on a B flat because we are not a concert instrument. So concert instruments are instruments like flute or trombone or tuba. They all will play whatever scale name your band director will ask for. So if they play a concert B flat scale, they are the instruments that will start on B flat. So what this means for us as tenor saxophonists, and the same thing for trumpet or clarinets. Your trumpet and clarinet friends run into the same issue that they have to think about. So when we talk about our concert B flat scale, we will start on the note C. And again, this is because our instrument is not in concert pitch. But don't worry, you're not alone. Like I said, there's like trumpets and clarinets that are in B flat transposition. Alto saxophones are in E flat. French horns are in F. So they have to transpose too. All of the saxophones that you will ever encounter, specifically since we play tenor, B flat, soprano is in B flat, alto, and the baritone saxophone are in E flat. So the reason that there's transpositions, the reason that not all instruments are concert pitched, is because if all instruments were concert pitched, we wouldn't get the same set of noises, the same set of pitches from our instruments. They wouldn't be able to produce the beautiful, lush, rich sounds that make up the band. So it's very important to understand that, again, when your band director asks the band, they're like, okay, band, we're going to start on a concert B flat scale. The light bulb should go off in your head, and you should be, oh, that's C. I will start on C. I will play my C major scale. So a trick that you'll probably use for the rest of your saxophone playing, I still use it to this day. I transpose things all the time. This is what it's called, transposing. I transpose things every day. It's just something that comes along with playing saxophone. So this is how you figure out what note you're going to start on. So your band director asks you to play a concert B flat scale. The way to do this is to go up 2 half steps chromatically. So you will start on a B flat and go up 1 half step. So B flat to B natural is 1 half step, and then from B natural to C is your 2nd half step. So any note that your band director says is concert, if you go up 2 half steps, that is always the note you will start on. It'll always be correct. And this is a rule that will always be correct no matter what note it is, and it'll really help you with your playing because it's something that we encounter every single day. So just for an example, just so you understand, if your band director says to play a concert F scale, in your head you should go, okay, F to F sharp is 1 half step. Now what is another half step up from F sharp? And it's G. So that's our 2 half steps. That's what we needed to do. And G is the scale that you will play. You will play your G major scale. So I wrote it out just so you can kind of see. So concert pitched instruments would play this B flat, and then we would play the C, and that's for B flat transposing instruments. So your trumpet friends and your clarinet friends will play this too. And then down here I just wrote out my rule again just so you can see it, that if you go up 2 half steps from a concert pitched, you will reach the note that you need to start on for your scale. So now we're going to go over the concert B flat scales, which, if you remember now, you can use the rule, are our C scales, starting on our C. So these are what the scales look like. This is what we're doing today. See, up here I wrote concert B flat, C for tenor saxophone. So first we're going to learn the C major scale. So the first note that we start on is C. You play C with your middle finger. So, and this is what a C sounds like. Okay, now play your C with me. Okay, now we're going to learn the next note in the scale, which is a D. So to get a D on your instrument, you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we also have the octave key. And the octave key will be held down for the rest of the notes that you encounter in this scale. And this is what your D sounds like. So now we're going to start on C and go up to D, just so you get the feeling of how the notes work. So I'm going to start on C and I'm going to go up to D. Now play that with me. Good. So now I'm going to teach you E. The next note is E, so it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then the octave key. So here's E. Play it with me. Okay, now we're going to start on C and go up to E. So C, D, E. Okay, now with me. Okay, so now we're going to learn the next note, which is F. So 1, 2, 3, 1. And this is what F sounds like. Play your F with me. Okay, so now we're going to start on C again and go up to F. So C, D, E, F. With me. Now the next note is G. So 1, 2, 3. Remember, we still have the octave key down. The only note that doesn't get the octave key is the C at the bottom. So here's your G. Okay, let's play that together. Your G. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing like we have been doing. We're going to start on the first note of this scale, which is the C, and go up to G. Let me demonstrate. Okay, Let's play that much together. Okay. So now we're going to learn the next note, which is an A. So to get an A on your instrument, you go 1, 2, and then we have the octave key down. So here's A. Play an A with me. Good. So now we're going to start on C and go all the way up to A. I'll do it first, and then we'll do it together slowly. So I'll play first. Okay. Together now. Okay. Now we're going to learn the note B, which is the 7th note of the scale. So B is just 1 and then octave key. This is what B sounds like. Play that note with me. Okay. And just like before, I'm going to start from the bottom note of the scale that we started on and go up to B. Let's play that together a little bit slower. And now we're going to learn the final note of the scale. So it is a C. But the only difference between this C and the C from the start of the scale is that now we have the octave key. So it's your middle finger, and we have the octave key. So this is what your high C sounds like. Let's play that note together. So now we're going to start from the low C and go all the way up to the high C. I'll do it first, and then we can do it together. Okay, now let's do that together. A little bit slower. Take a breath when you need to. Good. So now we're going to go up, and then we're going to come back down the scale. So I'll do it first. I'll demonstrate me going up the scale and coming back down, and then we'll do it together slowly. Okay, let's do it together. Take a breath when you need to. Here we go. congratulations, you just learned your C major scale on tenor saxophone. The reason that I had you keep going back down to the starting note and working your way up to the note you're learning is to get the muscle memory in your hands, to understand the feeling of what the major scale feels like in your hands and on your instrument, because that's a very important part of playing. So now that we learned the C major scale, we're going to learn the C natural minor scale. So this is the concert B flat natural minor scale, but if you remember from the transposing little lesson at the beginning of the video, it's our C natural minor scale. So an important thing to talk about is how the major scale and the minor scale compare to each other, because we're starting on the same note. We're playing a C. We're starting with both scales on C. But it's very important to know what notes are different. So I'm going to put my horn down and get out the little scale that I wrote down so you could see what the notes look like. So here is our here's our C scale. There's the scale we just learned. That's what it looks like on the staff. And here's the scale we are going to learn next on in this video. So I wrote the notes under each other so you can understand what is different between the two. So by looking at my little model here, you can see we start on C in both. Then we go to D, Do, Re. But when we hit the third note of this scale, it's just a little bit different. So when we play our C major scale like we just did, Do, Re, Mi. But when we play the natural minor scale, it'll go Do, Re, Mi, Do, Re, Mi, Do, Re, Mi. I was a little high on my first pitch, sorry. That's the difference. Within the first three notes, we can see a difference in the scale. So instead of the E natural like we learned, we're going to play an E flat there instead. And then if we keep going, we have Fa, Sol, we have F and G. Now, the sixth note of the scale is different. Here we have an A natural, and now instead of the A natural, we're going to be playing the A flat. And then if we fast forward to the seventh note, instead of a B, we're playing a B flat. And then the scale ends on C, on Do. So this is the makeup of every single natural minor scale that you will encounter. So this isn't just pertaining to C, this is in other keys. If you are asked to play a natural minor scale, you can go to the major scale and just add a flat to the third, the sixth, and the seventh note to get the natural minor scale. So now we're going to play that together, and I'm going to go over the fingerings. So I'm going to do this together. So we already know how to play C with our middle finger, so play C with me. And then we also know how to play D already, you know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 with our octave. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 an octave. So let's play D together. Okay, now the third note of the scale is where we find the first difference. So the note E flat on tenor saxophone is 1, 2, 3. And then in your right hand, 1, 2, 3. And now we finally get to use our pinky. We haven't used it yet. So on our keys, we use the top part of the keys down here, not the bottom one. You don't want the bottom one. You want the top, the one that's closest to your ring finger. That's the That's the pinky key that you want to hit. And we want our octave key. So this is what E flat sounds like. Play an E flat with me. Good. So now I'm going to have us start back at C and go up to the E flat. So this is what that should sound like. Do it with me a little bit slower. Good. So now we're going to learn, we already know the next two notes of the scale. The next note is F, which remember is 1, 2, 3. First finger, octave key. F sounds like this. Let's play it together. Okay, now the next note is G. We already know how to play G. 1, 2, 3, octave key. Let's play G together. Okay, so let's start on C and go all the way up to the G. But remember, this is different. You have the E flat in there instead of the E natural. Just so this is what that sounds like. Let's play it slowly together. Okay. So now we're going to learn the next note that is different. So the next note is A flat. On tenor saxophone, an A flat is 1, 2, 3. And now we get to use the pinky in our left hand. It's this top little button closest to your ring finger. That's the note that you want for an A flat, not these other buttons. You want the one that's closest to your ring finger. So the top button in your right hand doesn't have anything. So here's an A flat. Okay, play A flat with me. Okay, so like before, we're going to go down to C, and we're going to work our way up the scale to the A flat. So this is what that sounds like. Let's do it together a little bit slower. Good. So now we're going to learn the 7th note of the natural minor scale, which is a B flat. So to play B flat, there's a couple different ways to play a B flat on saxophone. I'm going to teach you the way that I would recommend to play B flat. So here we go. We're going to do 1, 2 in our left. And in our right hand, right here, if you can see it, I'm going to push this little button right here. So you should have the 3 buttons right here on your saxophone. You hit it with this part of your finger right here in your right hand. You hit it with this part. So we'll have 1, 2, then just that key. You don't want to press the F. You don't want to press the F key. You just want to hit that key. And then other than that, in your right hand, nothing should be down. And you want your octave key, because we still have the octave key on. So this is what the high B flat sounds like. Play it with me. So now we're going to go down to the bottom of the scale and work our way back up. And this is what that sounds like. Let's do it together a little bit slower. Here we go. Okay. And to end the scale, we just end on a high C, which is middle finger and octave key, just like before. And now you know your C natural minor scale. So I'm going to play it up once, and then we'll play it together. So here's what your C natural minor scale sounds like. Let's play that together a little bit slower. Take a breath when you need to. So now we're going to go up the scale like we just did, and then we're going to go back down. So I'll demonstrate this first. This is what this sounds like. So let's play it together. Remember, take a breath when you need to. Don't feel like you need to run out of breath. Let's play it together a little bit slower. And there, you just learned your C natural minor scale. So remember, that is the concert B flat natural minor scale, our C again. So for the remaining of this video, I'm just going to talk about practice tips that I think that a lot of saxophonists should remember. That's very important while they are playing and practicing. And the first topic that I would like to bring up is air. So we breathe every day. We breathe to live our lives as human beings. We already know how to breathe. But playing saxophone and playing any wind instrument for this matter requires this, is that we have to produce the amount of air to get a solid sound for our instrument. So that's very important, that we can make a consistent effort to shape our air and push our air and breathe in such a way that we can produce a very nice sound. So if you listen to, I listen to a lot of jazz players because I'm a jazz player. So if you listen to artists like Sonny Rollins, John Coltrane, who I have a poster in the background if you didn't see that, or Ben Webster, or Dexter Gordon, all of these tenor saxophonists have a very strong sound. They are very consistent in their sound too. And the way to achieve that is through breathing. I wish breathing was a topic that would have been brought up to me a lot more in high school. I feel that I could have really benefited if somebody stressed the importance of breathing, and so that's why I'm telling you. Breathing is so important to playing any instrument, and specifically to us for the saxophone, because the tenor has a lot of space to fill up as far as air is concerned. So I just want to get you feeling what good air support feels like. So when you work on air support, you're going to get a little bit tired, so don't run yourself down. Take breaks when you're practicing on air definitely take breaks. You will feel tired. If you feel tired, you are doing it right. And I promise you're not going to always feel tired. You'll build up the muscles, because these are muscles that we're actually working to achieve the air that we need to play saxophone. So now I'm going to breathe in. So I'm going to place my hands on my stomach so you can see. I'm going to breathe in. If you can see, I expanded. I'm going to let out for a sec. I expanded. My muscles here expanded. I could feel in the back. I could feel my back have a little bit of pressure as my lungs expanded. Notice my shoulders did not move. You do not want your shoulders to move when you are breathing in, when you're taking a deep breath, because this creates a tension, and we don't want any tension. So I'm going to do a big breath again. And that is the kind of breath you want to take when you're playing. And now I'm going to direct the air out in a way that you should be directing your air for saxophone. So it should be a... Let me do that again. I'm making my lips so that you can hear the air coming out. So you should be able to feel the muscles in your stomach pushing the air out. You don't want to go. You don't want to. You want to go. You want to feel the muscles squeezing the air out. So what I recommend is just taking a couple minutes before practicing, just taking a couple deep breaths in and out, just to get your body ready for practicing. I find it's very important. I'm going to show you what a weak sound sounds like, and I'm going to show you what the supported sound sounds like. So if I am playing with an unsupported sound, it'll sound something like this. I'm playing a C. And now I'm going to play with a supported sound. I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to go ta. I'm going to hit the note right up. So you should hear the difference in the sound. The sound that I played first was weak. It was really faint. The note was there. Yes, I was still playing the note, but the note when I played supported is right there. You know I'm playing a C. It's very strong. So I really recommend just focus on your breathing. We don't tend to think of breathing as something that is really important. Like I said,